Good morning, Norcal Karters. It's August 3rd, and we are in the, 8th month of 2021, and the calendar has been very busy. The tracks have been busy, and we're everyone adjusted and got back to racing, which is fantastic. So a lot of good stuff going on, so let's get to the calendar. We're packed. I mean, August is every single weekend. There's multiple events going on, and so if you ever complain to your race promoter or your club, is like, why'd you put that event on top of somebody else? Well, unless everyone traveled to the exact same events, there's going to be overlap because let's see here. This weekend there's 2 events. Next weekend there's 2 events, and if you include Newcastle, 3 events. The following weekend, there's 2 events. And August, there's 2 events on the same weekend. So I've been a part of the calendar meetings in the past, and the clubs that were involved, they did everything they could not to stack it on top of each other. But when you only have a certain amount of weekends available throughout the year, and the clubs are trying to stay off of big weekends like holidays or the big events that happen at Sonoma or Laguna Seca, things like that, then you end up with overlap. So let's get to it. Man, it's been beautiful this past couple weeks. I like hot weather. I'm in the valley, so it has been really nice. And if you're listening live, you can click on the link. However you're listening to it, you can chat live with us. Honestly, sometimes I forget people are chatting, and I need to get a separate screen probably just for my studio software, just so I can see if people are chiming in or not. But I'm going to make it too complicated like I do everything else. So August 2021. A lot of events going on, but let's rewind a little bit. So last weekend, I actually went out to Prairie City. So I just shot out there real quick on Sunday, and it was Prairie City's club race. They had the 2-stroke weekend going on. So I was really curious just to see how that event was looking, how the participation was. I know the 4-stroke weekends at Prairie City are just phenomenal. I mean, they're kicking ass out there on 4-stroke weekends. But I wanted to see how mainly the shifter stuff. I'm a shifter guy, and went out there, and there were a handful of shifter guys in the 80 and the 125 class. And honestly, I'll be blunt. Everyone can go on Race Monitor and see how many entries there were. But you know what? It actually kind of got me a little excited to get back on the track in racing mode. And part of that is it's been a couple of years since I've actually competed and took an official flag. But I've been driving the local tracks. I've been trying to hit the tracks and just enjoying it. And even with the limited number of karts on the track, I was sitting in the stands going, you know what? This actually looks like a lot of fun. I walked around the pits. People were smiling. They were having a good time. The competitors were, talking BS and joking with each other. And not just that, it's just kind of a nice way to shake the cobwebs off. If you're out of the cart for a while and you bounce around a lot, like for me, recently, my competition has really come from the Briggs & Stratton 206 class. Well, when I go to Prairie City, I'll drive my buddy's 206. But I really like driving my 125 shifter. But I just don't put enough effort into the 125 shifter. And I'm out there thinking, it's like, man, it's a lot of fun just to drive laps out here in the shifter. But I don't know if I really want to hop into a big class and go race. Kind of just that feeling of, okay, it's like I got to shake the cobwebs off at that speed for a 125. And then I'm watching the races at Prairie City and say, you know what? This would be a perfect time to get out there. The fast guy checks out. That's fine. And then the other guys kind of race together, and then there's a slow guy. I mean, and it's like that's perfect for me. So yeah, I'm gonna start getting the 80 together. I have a couple of them, so I think that's gonna be a lot of fun. And even if there's only a handful of guys out there, it doesn't matter. Just get on the track, go drive, kind of see where I stack up with the limited number of guys out there. And it was a very laid back day, which is also nice. It's not like go, 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 go. So if you've been out of the kart in a competition standpoint for a while, I would recommend it. Just go check it. Just go check it out. Just go watch. And then two, if you get a little bit fired up, just like, yeah, that actually does look like a lot of fun. So, I mean, I was even talking BS out there. It's like, someone said, why don't you bring your cart out? And it's like, well, my neck's going to hurt by looking over my shoulder all the time. So, but in reality, my eyes would probably hurt from trying to find the carts in front of me. So, yeah, what am I trying to say here? Even if it's a small turnout and you're kind of on the fence, just go check it out. And in the next race, have your cart ready. And if you're new to the sport, those kind of events are really good to really get a feel for karting at the club level. So you go to some of these races and, like Prairie City and Blue Max, those are really good tracks. Reno's another really good track for local club racing, where generally when you show up as a new guy or a nobody or etc., someone there is going to, try to engage you somehow. And in the contrast, you go to a place like Sonoma, and I spend a lot of time at Sonoma, and it's a lot different. And it's not that the people are stuck up or anything else. It's just you have teams that are typically racing at national level at Sonoma. So Sonoma is their local testing grounds. They compete against each other. The guys that do well at Sonoma typically go on to the nationals and do well. And so for a new guy getting into the sport, if you've ever wandered through the Sonoma pits on a race weekend, it's like, man, I'm not getting a lot of attention here. Well, you're not going to, because they're in test mode. They're go, go, go. And a lot of those guys, a lot of them are my friends, and they're a lot of great dudes, and I hang out with them away from the racetrack. And they turn it off when they're away from the track as far as letting loose, but at the track they're testing. And then you go to, again, Prairie City, Blue Max, or Reno. They're recreational karters. These guys just want to see more people in the sport. And they're going to be a lot more open to spending time with you. So, again, if you're new, go check out one of the clubs. Go to norcalkarters.com, click on the calendar, check it out, and just give it a feel. And then go check out a couple different tracks. So go out to the tracks and go to Prairie City, go to Sonoma, go to Blue Max, again, go to the Norcal Karters calendar, see what's happening that weekend, and just go check it out for a couple of races before you buy anything. Nice thing about places like Prairie City and Sonoma, Prairie City offers kart rentals. So if you've never been in a kart or never been outside of a K1 type place, go to Prairie City, go rent one of their karts. And in Sonoma, they also have a couple of outfits out there that are renting karts. And again, before you spend any money buying equipment, go rent a kart. And I guarantee you're going to love it. I mean, it's like someone telling you, you want to come out in a boat, and you're sitting on the boat in the middle of the summer on a beautiful day, and with your arms folded, you go, this sucks. This isn't any fun. It's like, I don't think I've ever seen that. So it's a great, great sport. All right, I rambled. I apologize. I told myself I wasn't going to ramble, but sometimes I get lost in my head. I was talking about Prairie City and the guys that were out there. Everyone looked like they were having a great time. I don't know. I rambled. So that was last weekend, Prairie City, 2-stroke weekend. My buddy Gary Carlton, he was down at Cal Speed last weekend. So, Gary's been super busy this year. It's fantastic. So he was down at Cal Speed. They were doing their summer shootout. It wasn't part of the LAKC series. It was just a one-off race where, looking at their webpage, it was a mixed format of engines and stuff like that. So Gary was down there supporting customers. Let's see here. And my buddy Henry Damus, he was out at Prairie City last weekend with his 125 limited group. So they had Roks out there and they had Hondas out there. So, and I know I saw a 175 out there, but it didn't go on the track because that gentleman was racing tag. But I thought for sure the 175 was going to race as well. But nonetheless, that was last weekend. Again, Prairie City. And then Henry Damus and his limited 125 shifter group. You can find him on Facebook. If you go to norcalkarters.com, we have a link in our description, and it will take you right to Henry's Facebook page for the 125 limited group. And all right, so that was last weekend. This weekend, CCKRA, that's the Central California Kart Racing Association, they will be out at, I think it's at Santa Maria this weekend. Let's see here. CCKRA will be at Santa Maria. And I've said it a lot of times. If you're in the Central Valley, you know, Fresno, Bakersfield, Santa Maria, some of the coastal towns, the CCKRA, they do a really good job. It's a regional series in the fact that they go to multiple tracks. They go to Santa Maria. They go to the Fresno track. They go to Buttonwillow. However, they've done a really good job of harnessing that club feel. So it's very welcoming to new people. And the racers in that region. And they offer 4-stroke classes, 2-stroke classes, shifters. And they'll be at Santa Maria this weekend. So again, that's CCKRA Santa Maria this weekend. And then also this weekend is Prairie City, race number 6 for the 4-strokers. So we were just talking about Prairie City last weekend. So Prairie City will also have a race this weekend for 4-stroke. And if you're wondering why Prairie City does multiple event days, it started out of necessity because of the COVID requirements. They're on state property. And they were told you can only have X amount of people on the property at any given time. So Donald went, all right, we'll just split them up. 2-stroke one weekend, 4-stroke another. And the 4-stroke weekend has been a tremendous success. And yeah, so that's coming up this weekend. And if you go to norcalkarters.com, click on the calendar, you can go to both CCKRA's website, which is cckra.com, and you can go to Prairie City's website, so pckarting.com. So this weekend, if you're listening to this, today is Tuesday. So if you're listening to this before Saturday, or even on the weekend, who cares? If you're in Northern California, you can go to Prairie City. If you're in the Central California, you can go to Santa Maria. Then you can also go to watch some racing to Bakersfield. So this weekend is also the Bakersfield Kart Club. And again, that information can all be found on norcalkarters.com. So that's this weekend, August 7th and 8th. And then we have next week, looks like GFC Karting hits the road and they're going to Newcastle for the Pro Tour. So GFC Karting and his team and his network of dealers will be traveling to Newcastle for the Pro Tour. And again, that's going to be August 12th through the 15th. And then on the weekend, back here in NorCal, we have Northern Nevada Kart Club, NNKC Reno.com. Again, if I'm going through these pretty quick, go right back to Norcal Karters, click on the events page, and the websites are listed there for our site sponsors. So NNKC, they are a site sponsor. Their website is listed on our page. Northern Nevada Kart Club website, nnkcreno.com, race number 6. This is their night race, and this is also going to be, so it's a Saturday race, August 14th. Saturday, August 14th, it's a night race. It's also their annual memorial race to a previous longtime member, Jerome. So they call it the Rick Jerome Memorial Race, and they do this every year, and they do it as a night race. And it looks like the Norcal 80 guys are heading up there to support the event, and it looks like Henry Damus is heading up there to support the event. So we have, that's going to be a busy weekend for Reno. So August 14th, NorCal 80 shifters are heading to Reno. Limited 125 shifters are heading to Reno. And Reno has race number 6, Under the Lights. And August 15th is Karts and Coffee down at Modesto. So it's at the McHenry Village in Modesto. So Karts and Coffee on Sunday. They basically just piggyback off the Cars and Coffee event, but there's a few karters that show up with their karts and they talk karting, and it's a great way to cross-promote karting to other motorsports enthusiasts. So that is taking place August 15th, third Sunday of every month behind the McHenry. Yeah, I guess it's McHenry, McHenry, McHenry Village Shopping Center. So that is August 15th. That's, 2 weeks. And what else do we have going on here? August 21st and 22nd. So if you're out there in your shop and you're going, why does Gary Carlton give so much love? He sent me a check. He's also a very good friend of mine, but from a business standpoint, he sent me a check. So Gary Carlton will be at Sonoma. And why do I phrase it that way? Is I'm kind of stressing how all over the place this guy is. I mean, he's just dedicated to his team and his customers. They're going to be at Newcastle the 12th through the 15th for the Pro Tour race. Sunday night, they'll tear down and probably hope to be on the road because they need to be back in town to switch over from a SCUSA engine package platform to a Rok Sonoma engine package platform. And they'll be at Rok Sonoma August 21st and 22nd. And I'm super excited about that weekend. The Camerons have been working really hard between the events to try to make improvements every single time. Their weakest link right now is their announcer, I have to admit. But they are doing a great job. And if you guys don't know, I'm the announcer. So before someone goes out there and says, oh, you're throwing shade at their... No, I'm their announcer. So, and I am their weakest link. You are the weakest link. August 21st, 22nd, Rok Sonoma. So, if you're a regular at that series, you will definitely see some changes or something different in the pits. So yeah, it's going to be cool. Yeah, I don't want to give it away. I kind of want to promote it, but I don't want to give it away, so I'm not going to. But yeah, GFC Karting, gfckarting.com. He will be at Rok Sonoma. Rok Sonoma, their website, sanzarukarting.com. SANZARU, karting with a K.com, sanzarukarting.com. And again, if I'm blowing through these, it's because everything I'm saying is also on the website, norcalkarters.com. So, at the end of this podcast, you'll probably feel Gary Carlton is a busy man, and I say norcalkarters.com a lot. So, that's, let's see, in coffee. I'm on coffee. That helps too. August 21st, 22nd, Rok Sonoma, race number 6. GFC Karting will be there supporting his customers. And there's a bunch of other shops that also support their customers at Sonoma. It's not just Gary. But again, like I said, he sent me a check. So he gets a lot more attention. But at Sonoma, you have Illuminos. You have Run White Racing. You have... sorry, Nick LeDuc. The name of your your company, it just completely escaped my brain. I had it on the tip of my tongue. When it'll come back to me though. Then you have Mike DeRosier with a couple of guys up there. In my head, I'm trying to go through the pits and kind of visualize everything. Obviously, Gary Carlton, because I've mentioned him many times. Why can't I not think of Nick LeDuc's company's name? It's on the tip of my tongue. And then we have the SSI simulator guys out there. So why do I mention a simulator guy? Because they're sponsoring the series, and they reward certificates to the winners of selected classes throughout the weekend for time on their mobile simulation machines. And so that's got to mention those guys. Got to plug the sponsors for the local series. And if you're a local series and you have sponsors, reach out to me. A quick text is the worst way to contact me. It will be buried, and I won't even know it came through until like 9 months later. So send me an email, send me a Facebook message. Then you can text me and say, hey, Jason, I sent you a message regarding our series sponsors. Do you mind reading those off on your next podcast? And I will do that for you. I have no problem with that. I'm stalling because I'm trying to remember Nick LeDuc's race team's name. But, yeah. Moving on. So we talked about GFC. We talked about Aluminos. We talked about Ron White Racing. We talked about Mikey D, Mike DeRosier. He services a bunch of guys. We talked about Nick LeDuc. Diego Valverde, he's out there as well. He services some customers. So those are other teams that are also at the track at Sonoma. So we'll see all those guys on August 21st and 22nd. August 22nd, Blue Max Kart Club. They have their club race number 5. Blue Max Kart Club race number 5. That's on August 22nd. And again, a lot of this information is on norcalkarters.com. The easiest way to find it is going to our calendar page and then clicking on an event that works for you. And then you can also go on our calendar. So it's a new calendar. If you haven't been on the website in over 2 months, go check it out. It's completely revamped. Now I'll be honest. The front page, I'm still working with stuff. I wanted just to get it up. It's not fine-tuned to where I want it yet, because my biggest focus was getting the calendar live and going again. So I put the time and effort into the calendar page, not so much the rest of the site. So I know it's like you look at it, and Gorilla Barbecue is one of our sponsors. And for the first couple of weeks, it looks like Norcal Karters was just a Gorilla Barbecue website, because I'm working with the way the articles are displayed, the images, etc. So I only had Gorilla Barbecue. Who else? I think I had Gorilla Barbecue and one other story posted on norcalkarters.com. So it basically populated the content it could find that I had uploaded, which was only 2 stories. So when you went to the page, it was Norcal Karters and Gorilla Barbecue. So thank you, Big Rich, for the support of Norcal Karters. But yeah, it's coming along. I plug away a little bit at the aesthetics of the site in the evenings, but my biggest focus, again, is the calendar. And why did I mention that? Oh, because if you go to our calendars page, norcalkarters.com, click on the tab for calendar. And the default view is a month view. That's default. But you can also turn it into just a list. If you click on the little tiny calendar icon in the upper right-hand corner, you can click on list, and then it just gives you a drop-down list of the upcoming events. And basically it's just in paragraph form. So it's not in calendar form. It's in paragraph form, and I'm working on fine-tuning the photos and everything else for the website, so that way there's a uniform look to the photos when you're clicking on the calendar or going through the list, etc. And then also new to the site, and I'm still tweaking it, is a map view. So you can go to the calendar page, and you can click on map view. And what that does is that will populate the upcoming events. So right now, I'm on there right now. I'm looking at it via Chrome on a PC. So August 7th, Prairie City, 4-stroke weekend in map view. So it gives you a little drop-down map of where we're at. But then we also have Newcastle on there. So it's showing us the whole United States because Newcastle is on there. But normally what it'll do is it just zoom right in. So you can go to the calendar, click on the map view, and you go, oh, well, what's right around me? And you'll see that we have Reno, Santa Maria. Oh, wow, Santa Maria is further south than I thought. Let's see here. Sonoma, Prairie City, Blue Max. So again, you get the map view. So just a new feature for the website. And but the default view on the computer is month view. The default view on a tablet or on a mobile device is the list view. But you can toggle back and forth on all three versions. So, yeah, NorcalKarters.com, the calendar page, it's new, blah, blah, blah. I left off August 21st to August 22nd. Rok Sonoma, race number 6. Blue Max Kart Club, August 22nd. And wrapping up August, Southern Oregon Karters. So Southern Oregon Karters, they're a new supporter to the website, and so we appreciate their sponsorship as well. Southern Oregon Karters, SOK, their website, sokarters.org, like organization. So sokarters.org, that is their website. And they have an event going on August 27th, 28th, and 29th. So I think it's a 3-day event because the 27th is a practice day. But you can go to their website for more information and contact information for Southern Oregon Karters. And that's the track in Medford at the Jackson County Fairgrounds. It's in Medford. It's been years since I've been there. But that was always a fun track for me to travel to for 2 reasons. One, I was able to get on the road and go travel. 2, the layout of that track is so much fun. So do yourself a favor, go online, look up YouTube, etc. For a layout of that track. Let's see, what else do we have here? Northern Nevada Kart Club, race number 7, August 29th. Their website to register for that event, NNKCReno.com. And it looks like Henry Damus and the limited 125s will be going back to Reno on August 29th to support NNKC. So that's going to be good. And let's do a quick preview into September. I don't want to talk about September yet. I don't want to acknowledge that it's probably going to be here right around the corner. But we will do so. September. That's interesting. There's actually one weekend in September I don't have anything on my calendar. September 4th and 5th. I need to double check that. But I'm not going to be held up by that. September 10th, 11th, and 12th. This is how we'll wrap up the podcast. No, we'll wrap it up the following week. I know you're thinking, man, your podcasts do take about a week to get through. GFC Karting will be at Sonoma 10th, 11th, and 12th for the Sonoma Rock Cup. However, this event is combined with the California Rock Championship. So California Rock Championship is taking place on September 11th and 12th. It's actually going to be September 10th, 11th, 12th. California Rock Championship finale. So typically the California Rock Championship is a 2-day event. The only reason I am saying it's a 3-day event is I know a lot of the drivers will be at the track testing on Friday. So there you have it. September 10th, 11th, and 12th. Sonoma will be busy. GFC Karting, Rok Sonoma, and the California Rock Championship finale. So it's going to be a combined event where two promoters put their heads together. They bring their entries together. And this is going to be a big event. Not because I'm what is that person that looks into a crystal ball? But the following week is going to be Rockfest West at Sonoma. So we're going to have a lot of the national teams heading to Sonoma for this Rockfest event. And let's see. So we have GFC Karting, Rok Sonoma, California Rock Championship happening September 10th through the 12th. Now, to register for the combined event, you do it through the Rok Sonoma webpage, which is sanzarukarting.com. They use the Kart Pass app for registrations. So all registrations will go through the Sonoma registration process. So not through Andy's deal, not through the Rock Championship. So Kart Pass is the application that they use for their registration. And buried into that weekend, I have CCKRA race number 6. So CCKRA race number 6. And right now I have that one set for Fresno. So the big Fresno Fair. And I hate promoting events and telling people to go one place or another, especially when they're conflicting. But I'm gonna make an exception. If you are going to Vegas, it's tough because then it's this sucks. See, the race promoters just stack shit on top of each other. All right, so CCKRA. If they go to Fresno, it's a temporary track. If you've never been on a temporary track, look into attending that Fresno race for CCKRA. And again, I'm not trying to pull entries from one series or another, but I've driven the Fresno track, and it's a temporary track. If you've never done a temporary track and you're getting a wild hair up your ass to go to Vegas, you need to find a temporary track race to go to before Vegas, just so you're close to on par with these racers that have a lot of experience with temp tracks. So CCKRA Fresno, that is a temporary track, and racing on a temporary track is completely different than racing on a solidified kart track from a standpoint of you need to completely change the way you reference stuff. You don't have curbs that are always in the same spot. You don't have light poles and things like that, day after day, year after year, are always in the same spot. So on a temporary track, you have to use different cues to pick up your reference points, whether it's a seam in the track, whether it's something that never moves. But the other thing is you got to look further ahead. And this sounds so stupid. You should be looking far ahead in a race cart anyway. But when you're on a temporary track, it's really, really important. Because if you're behind a guy and he tacks the barrier, you're probably going to hit it too. But on the next lap, you need to be aware that barrier may have moved a little bit. Cones. Cones can mess with people's minds when you're going down a temporary track and you're going through cones, etc. And so I think it's just a good idea. If you plan on doing one of the Vegas events, find a temporary track to go practice on first. And CCKRA, even though it's on top of the Rok Sonoma event, that is an excellent opportunity to get it on a temporary track, if in fact they are doing it at Fresno, which at this point they are. So I digress. That same weekend, I'm going to put a question mark next to Prairie City. Last night they sent out a new schedule revision because they have some more events coming to the track in September and October. So I'm going to put a question mark next to Prairie City, but they're a sponsor of the website. So their website is pckarting.com. So you should be able to go to their calendar and get the latest calendar because I've not updated my calendar since last night's release of their dates. And then I mentioned it, September 16th through the 19th. Rockfest West at Sonoma. So Rockfest West at Sonoma. And GFC Karting will be there. A lot of the other teams will be there. So if you want more attention for your team on our podcasts, call me. Reach out to me. Let's get you on the podcast. I'm starting to do combined advertisings now because we're already in August of 2021. So what I'm doing is we're just doing we're doing basically year and a half packages now. So that way you get the rest of this year and next year. It's just easier that way because quite honestly, it's very time consuming to sit there and put entries into the calendar. And so it's just easier for me to do more entries going into next year than it is just one or two and then go through the whole process again. So let's see here. We have Rockfest West, September 16th through the 19th. GFC Karting will be in attendance supporting his dealers and his race team. Southern Oregon Karters has an event September 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then also, it's been a while since I've talked about NCK. NCK Road Racing, Thunder Hill East. They have a 2-day event on a weekend. So I kind of used NCK as my Monday. Scratch that. They were getting a lot of pushback from their members. They want weekend races. So they are doing a weekend race, September 18th and the 19th at Thunder Hill East. And they are sharing this event with the Cobra Shelby Club. And the reason they're sharing the event with the Cobra Shelby Club is it allows both organizations to lower their fees to their members. So you guys in road racing have asked for weekend events. Get your butt out there. So that is September 18th and 19th. So NCK Road Racing is nckroadracing.com, and they will be at Thunder Hill Raceway September 18th and 19th. There's a lot going on in September. Blue Max Kart Club has an event September 19th. And it looks like the NorCal ADCC guys will be heading to Blue Max to support them. And there is the Karts and Coffee in Modesto, again, September 19th. So there's a lot going on. I kind of went all over the place for September, but there's a website called NorcalKarters.com. Click on the calendar. You can go to the events. You can check it out. And as these events get closer, we will highlight them more. So, yeah, that's September. You know what? I glossed over Bakersfield Kart Club. They have an event September 11th. So Bakersfield Kart Club, September 11th. And it looks like Pro Kart Challenge also has an event September 11th and 12th. So I glossed over those by accident. But it doesn't matter. It's all on NorcalKarters.com. So go to NorcalKarters.com, go on the calendar, check it out. And then give me your feedback. Check out the website. Go kick it around. Go navigate it. I didn't build the site for me. I built it for the Karters. So let me know what you're looking for. I've been getting feedback. So there's going to be some more stuff coming to the site. And especially if I hear repeated feedback of the same thing, then that stuff I got 1,000 things on my list to do for Norcal Karters. If I have one person that says, hey, Jason, you really should have, a section just where we can Instagram our weekly tacos. But we're racers, so it should be on Norcal Karters. But you're the only person that wants Instagram tacos. It's going to be at the bottom of the list. Great idea. I love it because, I like tacos and I like taking pictures of my food. But it's going to be at the bottom of the list. If you call and you say, Jason, we need a directory. We need this. We need that. And then I get bombarded with requests for that. Those projects move to the top. Videos, that's very, very high on my list because people are always asking for tech help. So as I have the time available to do it, I will do more videos. Racetrack, on-site promotions and stuff. I'm just not very good at it. I'm not a camera guy. I'm not a video guy. That's probably an area I don't know if I really want to market my personal services. So if you're out there and you're listening and you're going, but I'm a photo guy or I'm a video guy, but I don't know how to get my foot in the door, then reach out to me. Because I can set you up with the tracks that are looking for that type of service that's needed at the track. What else? Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for hanging on. This one went a little bit longer than I had thought. I thought I'd be done in 20 minutes, but I ramble. But all of this stuff can be found on NorcalKarters.com. Gorilla Barbecue, thank you for the support. GFC Karting, thank you for the support. The reason I'm singling those two out is Gary has a spot on the calendar for GFC Karting with his events. But I had to create places for Gorilla Barbecue. But then Rich called a couple months ago and goes, dude, I just want to support what you're doing. And I had to really rethink how I looked at the website because I understand as a business, if you're giving me a check, there needs to be some return. Especially if it's called advertising. But Gorilla Barbecue, gorillabarbecue.com. We definitely appreciate your support of the website. And again, the advertising part of it, it's not new to me. I understand it. I know how to grab it. My mindset for Norcal Karters 5 years ago was I was trying to do it based off of a donation platform and keeping the site simple, keeping advertising to a minimum. I didn't want a bunch of banner ads that were flashy and cluttery, etc. But it just really came down to, one, how can I expect people just to donate all the time? And two, companies actually started contacting me and say, hey, we want to be a part of the site. So it's evolved to where now there are placements for advertisers. I'm going to fine tune a lot of it. Keep in mind that the new NorcalKarters.com page, a lot of the content on there is just place fillers. And it's just from the old site I brought in just to see how the site would look. So I do understand I need to fine tune some of the images and get things going that way. But I didn't want to sit there and spend hours on images when I didn't know how the site was really going to work. So keep in mind, a lot of it is placeholders. But for the first couple of weeks, Gorilla Barbecue, it looked like your website. So thank you, everyone. If you share the podcast, I appreciate it. If you're listening and you share it or download it, thank you. If you found me by accident, you can find me on, I think, any of your favorite podcast players. If you can't, let me know. I know I'm listed on at least 10 platforms right now. But if you can't find me, let me know, because maybe I need to look into different platforms. So this project is always evolving. I scratched the live video for a while. I tried using YouTube, and I had just too many glitches. I don't know if it was hardware or internet issues, and I just said I just gave up. I quit. I'm a quitter. So At least for now, I shelved it because it was just taking up way too much time to try to work out the kinks. And I didn't have that time to dedicate to it. I probably will start messing with Facebook stuff, Facebook Live. I didn't really want to be too tied in all my eggs in basket with one social media platform, which is why I'm trying to spread it out. But it is what it is. So thank you for listening. Even if you can't donate, if you can't contribute, it doesn't matter. You can still share the podcast. Please share it with your racing friends. Visit the website. Send me messages for feedback. All of that stuff is very helpful. If you're a business out there and you want to support the website and promote your business to other kart racers, reach out to me. I'm starting to put together advertising packages for basically non-industry shops or businesses, etc. And we'll just keep working on the website. Thank you for listening to the podcast. Everyone have a great week, and August is here.